Hello, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are going to be showing, well, I'm going to be showing you just the things that I forgot to show you in the last video. I forgot to put it in, which was the SDS stuff, but let me just check here. This banner has been fairly good to me. I really want to go back in to get some more daggers, but not right now. Also, Astra is actually really cracked. Like, I've been testing with him and he's absolutely nuts. Don't know what I'm gonna do with the Hall of Forms. I'm probably gonna just pick up Lilina. I've been feeling that I want to upgrade her for a while, and then I feel like also, as you just saw like a minute ago, Ascended Legion has been like on a bunch of banners recently, and I'm also gonna go back in on the Ascended Rearm thing just to pick up someone. But yeah, here we go. This is the SDS stuff. I just want to show you my teams real quick. There's no point in showing like the replays or anything because I think I only won 2 matches. Just looking back at it, I realized that I lost to, like, these are like rank 1 players typically that I lost to, and then I beat players that I guess it's I lost against better players essentially. Like these blue, like that's Dark, he plays all the time, and I think Lewis also, he was like, that was like, he had like 2 matches to go before rank 1, so but I also played really poorly, so I can't really blame that on it, or I can't really say that it was my best performance overall in the beginning, and then also in the end not that great either. This is a really, I really want to plus 10 my Nino, but it's going to take some time. She's been like refusing to come home. I'm kind of waiting on her banner to come back. Hopefully it wins at some point. But I really do want to plus 10 her. I feel like she has a lot of potential to like perform well in the future in comparison to, like, let's say Soph. I feel like the color matchup with Nino is a little bit better. But yeah, I was saying that Ascended Legion has been on a bunch of banners recently. I don't know if they're trying to tell us something, that maybe she's gonna get something that will make her better. I don't know. She's been out for a while now, so I think she came out after Fume, no? So maybe there's some hint to something there. I don't know, but I realized that I didn't have any copies of her. I've been foddering them for something, because I do know that I pulled a couple of them. I just haven't kept them. I don't know if this is like the right build for Goldberry, but then I also don't have a plus 10 Goldberry. This might just be an SDS thing, but I don't know. I feel like she could do better with something else. But yeah, I don't know about the Legiarm thing. I feel like they're trying to hint something at us, and I'm gonna keep the 1 copy that I got and try to invest into it a little bit just to see what's on the horizon here. Here's Fuchsia and his Lachesis. Looks like the favorite there. Yeah, but I'm gonna do a bit of investment into her. Maybe she's gonna be in Hall of Forms or something, I don't know, but I do, or maybe she'll be the next, well, the story isn't trending in that direction. I was gonna say she's gonna be the next aided hero, but the story isn't really heading in that direction. I don't think that's gonna be likely, but keep an eye out for that. Maybe they'll do something interesting, I don't know. But yeah, don't know what I'm gonna do with Lilina's build yet. Probably gonna watch a PM1 video or something to see what I can cook up, but let's get into the Ether Raids video. Alright, so this is the last match for the week. Hopefully, let's pick the team here. I gotta go Gale Force with this one, just by looking at it. The peak. Cuff. Yeah, I was taking some peeks at it, and of course it's gonna be a bit challenging initiating on this one, so I had to really spend some time prepping before going into this match. Luckily, I don't have my healing tower here, which is, I saw it in the last video and I was like, hey, I should actually fix that, but then I forgot to do it. But it actually is going to work out in my favor here. I mean, I could probably have worked around it still, but it not being here for this particular match is actually to my benefit. The other thing is, having Felix and Sullick in the back reduces the offensive pressure on turn, or on all of the turns, I can actually just sit in the front row and set up my approach, which is what I'm going to do for a couple of turns. I want to break these structures and then get at Gatekeeper so that I can then be able to warp around, because of course this is a Gale Force team, and a big part of Gale Forcing is that you need to be able to get in and warp around and get your extra actions that way. So I gotta get rid of Gatekeeper for that to happen. Tanking this was also a thought that crossed my mind, but it would have been really difficult because of the position of Embla, which is actually really, really well placed for the setup. I probably would have put her in the back. Reason being, you want to apply the offensive pressure on the first turn, and with Felix in the front, he would have threatened my Felix, and it would have made it a little bit more difficult for me to do what I'm about to do.
Close your
but then
eyes.
also, it really depends on the amount of structures that the opponent or the attacking player has. If he has a full back row, then it's a little bit more difficult. But if he doesn't, then Felix's placement wouldn't really matter that much. But I still would recommend for him to be in the front. I don't know. I think he's in the back to get the no follow-up from Celica, which actually makes a ton of sense. But I would also put... The reason why you wouldn't put Celica in the front is that it's really easy to bait her out if she's in the front, but then also the threat would really... Like, I could not have Gale Forced or attempted to Gale Force. I'd have to go on turn 1, which wouldn't work because I need to break these structures and blah blah blah. So that would have been out of the question. I would have to tank this, or try to, which is kind of difficult because there's only those 2 spaces where my dancers are that I would have been able to use. Everything else would have been susceptible to being undefended. So it wouldn't have been the best thing to do, trying to tank this. And then over on the other side, only spot that's safe from Embla is the spot that Marin's in. And
right
you can't really tank. I don't see how you would set up I mean, you could probably do it in a straight line up, but that's kind of crazy. So that's also not an option. So luckily, this is the breaks. This is what the team's layout is. This is how it's set up. So I get to try to figure it out. It's going to take me a little bit because I got to plan. I only planned up to breaking the healing tower, and I'm pretty sure that the trap in front of Gatekeeper is fake. Reason being, if it's real, it doesn't benefit them as much as placing it right there, so that you can't reposition onto. You'd be forced to reposition onto the trap. If you had a structure in the spot that Felix is currently in. I'm really just talking over the layout of this defense because it's really good. I really like this. For as low budget as it is, it's actually a very, very good defensive setup. I'm pretty sure he gets a ton of wins with this, but we're gonna Gale Force to save the day. Marin, is it Marin or Marin? Marin is going to be the one to put in the majority of the work here, or at least she will do the most of the prep. I don't think I would have been able... Well, I would have had... Normally, who would be in her spot would be Baby Golveg. And actually, for this match in particular, Shadow Shift is actually really, really important. So I don't think I would have been able to do it without this specific configuration, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, if it wasn't set, if everything kind of just ended up aligning perfectly for this to work, which sucks for defense because like you look at the team and you're like, man, my opponent had the exact stuff that he needed to win, and that happens very rarely, but it does happen, and it's really annoying when it does. But we're gonna Shadow Shift all over the place here to get in and out. Avoiding the range of Felix.
Time to shine.
She can't double Embla, and she's bonus. And this Embla isn't even like built particularly well. I don't like that.
With pride.
But then also I don't have a speed buff, but that shouldn't matter. yeah, her killing power is just really lacking.
With pride.
But I mean, the Shadow Shift on her, the Shadow Shift plus the Sigurd ring really just makes her a lot more, what's the word, versatile, usable. She adds more to the team with this specific build. I mean, I could drop the Sabotage because, it is doing the debuffs, but depending on how hard your units hit, you might not need it. And also, I'm doing an AoE, so it might not even, it probably doesn't even matter with the AoE build that I'm going with Felix here. So I could drop the, I plan to drop it for momentum, and then run an AoE build on Marin. I keep saying her name wrong. Instead, maybe I should just call her Fox Girl because that makes more sense. But then also there's other actual Fox Girls in the story. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I think my setup is complete here. So the plan is to have Felix take out Gatekeeper. I don't really need to take out Embla, but she's on the way to Gatekeeper. So, I mean, might as well. And then from there, we'll see how the warping goes. I don't really have a plan past there. And we also have to take out Fjorm. I just realized that because I might need my duo stuff. So, and we need to take out Fjorm so that we can get to Celica, because Celica can warp. So that's also a problem. But yeah, that's for me to figure out in a little bit. But in the meantime, I was watching like a lot of Summoner Duels. Everyone who streamed, and a lot of people did really well. Basically, all they did was just ban Sigurd teams, which, I mean, naturally it makes sense this season. And everyone was also pretty much talking about like what's going to happen for the next SDR, which I think will be seeing a ton of Sigurd for SDR. So I plan to like build around that to kind of, or maybe it won't even be a calf map. The reason that Sigurd was so like destructive was because this was a calf map, and even like Duo Leon made a comeback. Like I saw a lot of people actually putting him on teams, and to my surprise, in one of the matches, I was actually able to take out Duo Fjorm with Duo Leon. And I was quite shocked. I didn't realize that Leon could actually do that. And there was no Breath of Life support, of course. If there was Breath of Life, then she would just heal it all back. But Duo Leon by himself can actually just take out Duo Fjorm in SD. I don't know about like Ether Rays. I haven't tried that out yet. But in SD, Leon is still a major threat. Even if you have Firm Canto Stomp, it really doesn't even matter, because all you have to do, unless you have multiple units with that skill, all you have to do is take out the one unit who's usually probably Dagger or let's say Tamara, maybe, or yeah, those are the common ones.
I'll handle it.
And then you're good to go. You can shut down all the units that you want to shut down, and it just works. The other thing that I noticed that I wanted to bring up. I forget now. Jeez. Oh man. I just had a thought and it completely left my mind, because I just realized that the trap affected Jimbro as well, which is kind of bad. I was going to use him to take out Felix, but now he can't reach Felix, the enemy Felix. So that means I'm going to have to get creative here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 6 units. How many actions do I actually have here? I gotta find a way to get my dancers in. My biggest concern was that I wasn't gonna be able to have a unit to use Wings of Mercy with, so that's why I was saving the trap, so that I can step on it and then
fine by me.
You know, get Wings of Mercy. Okay, this is much better. Paneette will be the beacon. So yeah, we're gonna use Paneette as the Wings of Mercy beacon, and I'm gonna play around with that. I'm gonna. What? Alright, so Felix, then Fjorm. Okay, alright, that should work out in my favor. Okay, alright. But yeah, the other thing that was on my mind was, man, what was it? A favor. So I wanted to have another unit I wanted to bring another unit to max favor. I decided that over the weekend, just to like get some more practice in and become like more consistent when playing, like building teams and playing in SD. I decided that it would make a lot of sense to just get all of my favorite units to max favor. And then I was like, all right, let's go do this. So I started with Sita, the new Sita, of course. And after a couple matches, I was like, oh my god, this is going to take forever. This is going to take forever. I didn't realize how difficult it actually is to get to max favor from starting from scratch. And I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, because they keep increasing the cap by 100 every time. So eventually we're going to be at like, what, 5,000-6,000? And we're only getting like 30 per match. They're going to need to bump that up to like times 5. Give us 100 per match. I don't know, maybe 60. I feel like 100 would be nice. I feel like they're going to have like some event in the future where they just increase the amount of favor that you get overall, because 4,800 right now is a ton. Like there was this one guy that was just auto battling all the way.
Fine by me.
He would just go in and end his turn so they could get the favor. He didn't even care about playing, because he knew how many matches it would take to get to max favor. And I was like, I understand your pain, because I'm currently trying to do the same. And it's going to be really tough when you're using units that actually don't fit into the meta. I'm currently thinking about doing Emblem Marth as well, because Sita, Marth, it kind of makes sense. I want to do both of my Marths, Brave as well. But I don't even know if, like, when you have to carry a unit that has no real value to your team just because you want to get them to max favor, which is what I've been doing with Edelgard, it's really hard. I mean, Edelgard is fairly decent, but she dies a lot these days, which wasn't the case a couple years ago. There was like only like 2 units that could take her out, but now it feels like there's like every unit that comes out is just demolishing Brave Edelgard. So it's gonna be like a real tough task. I do want to stick to it, because I made the commitment, so I definitely want to get all of my favorites to max favor. It's just like 5 units primarily. It's not that many, but 4,800 currently, and then eventually maybe 6,000 by the time I get close to being done. It's going to take a lot of work. I don't even know if I want to put that much time and effort into it, but I don't know. I'll get through it, I think. I don't know. Also, really lucky that I don't need the pot. It's really lucky that this is the last match of the week. Man, things just really worked out pretty well here, because I don't need the pots. Because otherwise, I don't know what I would do. I can't pin Celica. And I don't think I could survive a hit from Mirabilis as well. So this is all kind of working out in my favor here. But yeah, that aside, that's my future plan for SD. Hopefully that goes well. Emblem Marth has been... I really think he needs a kit upgrade, but then it's going to be difficult because you really want to keep the potent, but then also he doesn't have enough damage reduction to live a counterattack fairly well, so it's going to be kind of hard to figure out what his best build is. And then I've been having a ton of fun with the new dagger. She is really good, but also not as bulky as I would have liked. She I don't know, she needs like a damage reduction C skill, I feel like, just to give her that little bit more of an edge in some of her matchups. He dies fairly easily, but I guess that's not like her main playstyle, surviving things. But yeah, we were able to clear this one out. This worked out in the end, brings the week to a close. Also, Netflix is like $22, man. I really wanted to get into Narcos, but God, it's expensive. That's a side note thing, but GG's. Defense replays later.